Hey everybody, this is the Facebook Ads with the Twang podcast. I'm your host Ben Blackman, and today we're talking about why testing can actually hurt your Facebook ad campaigns. Here comes episode 58. Facebook Ads with the Twang is dedicated to taking the often overcomplicated process of creating simple, successful Facebook ads, breaking them down step by step in less than 10 minutes at a time. Let's get started. Welcome everybody to episode 58. I'm really glad to have you here, and we're talking about testing. Yes, this is the second episode where I'm actually doing video and audio at the same time. So I'm going to be, walking you through, how to do testing inside of Facebook, and I'm going to be explaining that, and I'm also going to be talking about, what you need to know about testing really before you even get started, because everybody tells you to test, right? Everybody says, oh, you got to test it. Well, that all sounds good, right? It all sounds good. Yeah, and we all want to test everything and figure out this and that and the other thing. Most tests for most things yield a very nominal result, especially on lower budgets. Okay, so in other words, if you split test an image and you get a 0.5% difference in your conversion on your landing page, well, that's probably not going to be hugely meaningful on a lower budget. Okay, but if you get a 20% difference, well, that's okay, right? So you need to understand why you're testing, what you're testing for, and that kind of thing. And so just think about this. If you've run Facebook ads already, like you've run some and you have some meaningful data, meaning you ran them long enough to get some decent numbers and more than a week anyway, then you have kind of a control. You've got some data. You kind of know what's working as far as that campaign goes and what's not working. If you haven't ran ads, that's okay. You can start off split testing, but you have to be strategic with this. Now, the way that you do that is if you've run a campaign, you want to look at the data and see which parts weren't working. So, for example, maybe a lot of people are seeing the ad, but not very many people were clicking, right? That's an issue in and of itself. Or maybe a lot of people were clicking on the ad, but they weren't converting for your opt-in or for your webinar or signing up for something else, whatever it is, right? That's another issue. So, maybe you're getting a lot of negative comments, maybe your relevancy scores, those are low. That's all, different issues. So you want to look at it and understand what your goal is and understand what the issue is. So if you haven't run a campaign, obviously you can't do that just yet, but that's okay. Now, just to kind of give you an example, let's just say that a lot of people are seeing the ad, but not very many people are clicking. Well, the only two things it could really be are either A, you're not sending it to the right audience, or B, the image stinks. One or the other. Well, the easiest thing to do is put another image in and run it again and see what happens, right? That's the easiest thing to do, and that's a test. And now, once that's over, then you have a new control, okay? So the more money you can put in your budget, the more, you can test those things and the quicker you can do them, right? But I don't want you to feel like that you have to be constantly testing something, because you don't. You're going to find a campaign, you're going to find something that's working really well, and it's okay to keep riding that out, okay, for as long as you can, and pay attention to the numbers. So, what I want to do is I'm going to kind of show you inside of Facebook Ads Manager how you can run tests now, okay? And I want to keep this as simple as I can, but when you're setting up your campaign, and let's just say you're using a conversion as your objective, right? Now there's a little checkbox which you can barely see. It says right beside a thing that says create split tests, okay? And once you check that and you go actually into your ad set, you have these things called variables that are available. And it says, well, what do you want to test, right? And it gives you some options. It says you can test your creative, which is anything, the ad, the copy, the image, all that stuff. You can test delivery optimization. So maybe you want the Facebook to optimize for conversions, or maybe you want them to optimize for landing page views or link clicks, or something like that. Then you have audience. So maybe you want Facebook to test, specific audience variables and that kind of thing, like, an age range or specific interest or something. and placements. So placements are where the ads show. So most of the time we tell people, hey, always just, uncheck everything except for the Facebook news feed. Well, maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to have one ad that, the ad go to the news feed, and then the other one that lets Facebook select, like uses automatic placements. So you can test all those things, and it's really simple. So if you're going to do the creative, when you select that, as soon as you do, Facebook on the left side of the page will now have split it up and say ad A, ad B, right? And then all you have to do is when you go into your creative part of it, it'll automatically take you into ad A, and it'll ask you to input, your image or video and your copy, and you do that. And then you go down to ad B and do the same exact thing. You just choose an alternate image. And then you set the campaign to run. I mean, that's it. That's all there is to it. So you really want to keep those things really simple, right? You're going to split test an image or a headline, okay? Just make sure you know what you're looking to do. Now, another good thing that's really easy to test and that I think is effective and maybe not too confusing, right, is testing your audience. Now, you do that, again, in the ad set, and you select audience. And when you do that, it'll set up ad set A and ad set B. Those are two different audiences. They actually are exactly the same audience, but now they're split up into two. So you can then, in turn, you click create new audience, and then you modify the age, you modify the location, you modify the interests. You do everything you would normally do, and then once you're done with that, you go into ad set B and you do the same thing. Okay, so what you would want to do there in most cases is probably just modify demographic versus an interest. So you might want to do something like, age, maybe your audience age range, you're going to test 18 to 35, and then you're going to test 36 to 56, whatever it is, right? And you can test those things, or maybe you're going to test running to men versus women, or whatever you want to do. But that is an easy variable to test. And then, once you get done with the test, you can go back and look at and see what the results are, and then make the determination as to which one works better. So something else I feel like I need to mention to you, okay, on this is your budgeting and your schedule. So Facebook will default now to a lifetime budget, a lifetime of the campaign, right? Instead of a daily budget. So, you go in there and it defaults to like a big figure. Like on this one, it says $4,000. Okay, don't freak out. Okay, because you don't have to do that. All right, use the budget that you can. Now, I will say, if you're trying to do it on a $5 a day budget, that's probably not going to work. Or you're not, well, it'll work. It's going to take so long to figure out. It'll be 2 years before you get enough data to understand what happened. Okay, so you want to have a decent sized budget. And what I say by decent size, if you're not able to commit to at least $20 a day, then it's probably going to be tough to split test much. Okay, I probably wouldn't do that. I wouldn't try a split test. I would just run an ad to my offer. Okay. Now, something to bear in mind is you also want to make sure that you have the right message for the right market. That's usually the biggest issue, right? People get, or at least in my experience, a lot of people get real excited and they want to run an ad, and they just put it out there without a lot of thought as to whether the offer that they're giving is actually compelling for, the people that they're sending it to. So you really need to do your audience research before you jump into split testing. Otherwise, you're going to be spinning your wheels, not understanding or, not being able to figure out why it doesn't work. And then it just comes down to the offer. Okay, so that's it. That's what I wanted to talk to you about split testing. And if you want to see the video, just go to One Focus Marketing. That's onefocusmarketing.com/episode 58. That's lowercase, episode 58. And the video will be right there. And the only other thing I wanted to mention to you is I'm so excited because I have the Facebook ads Facebook ads with a twang for beginners ready. I'm offering a 70% discount for podcast listeners. I don't know how long I'm going to do this, but I'm doing it now. And so all you have to do is you go to Ben Blackman, and if you don't know how to spell my last name, it's BLACKMON. Okay, benblackman.com twang, TWANG. Okay. And again, this is in the show notes. When you go there and you enroll, then you can input the code, and the code to get the discount is twang. That'll be in the show notes as well. Okay, so I made it really simple. Normally it's $199. You can go see that in my Kajabi store on my website there. And I'm offering for $199. With the 70% discount, it's $59.70 or something like that. So it is a complete no-brainer. It's guaranteed, and I really look forward to you looking at it and enjoying it, and I want to get your feedback on it. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. I will see you guys on episode number 59. Thanks.